Good evening, and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen for the City of Fayetteville. This is January the 13th, 2026. We'll call this meeting to order. First, we'll have the prayer, and this is by Miss Lily Hogan, who is a homeschooler. And then we'll have the pledge by two of the Rathaskin students, and their name is Royal and Kingston Lester. So if you guys will come forward, we will start. Everyone stand. Say the prayer.
Will you please bow your heads? Lord, first I want to thank you for this amazing day you've given us and all the ways that you've blessed us. I pray that you will continue to bless us and lead us in the way you need us to go so we can spread your love and your word to everyone we meet. I especially pray that you will let your Spirit guide our leaders to make decisions that glorify you and your kingdom. I want to lift up this community and all those who are struggling. Let them lean on you and put their trust in you. And for the lost souls that we come across, I pray that we will share your good news and the message of your kingdom. Let us show the love of Christ to anyone and everyone that we meet. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay. Ready? Wait. Go back. Okay, start out. I pledge real loud, okay? All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Now we have the adoption of the agenda that has been presented to you. Are there any corrections on the agenda? I would like to make one statement saying that Shannon Ball with TEMA is here with us. This is concerning the item K, just in case there are any questions. The agenda will stand as presented. Also presented to you in your board package, you have the minutes for the regular meeting for December the 9th, 2025. Were there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, those minutes will stand approved as presented. Now we move to the public comments portion of our meeting. So went back, reviewed the ordinance that we adopted in 2023, and in this it allows for a 2-minute time for you to speak. This is a time for you to speak and say what you have to say concerning an item on the agenda. It's not a time to interact with the board because what you have to say is important, and that's who we need to hear. So we will begin with the list, and Jonathan from the back will notify me when 2 minutes is up, and we will just start calling from the sign-in sheet. First up, it's Stephanie Britt.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And so since we're both on the list, we decided we'd just come together to save time. So anyway, I am Stephanie Edie Britt,
Thurston Britt.
and we're
Stop,
appearing.
stop you right there. Are y'all, you can only do, one person can speak, so you'll need to speak and then Thurston.
We got it. Okay.
So it's 2 minutes.
Okay, well, first, thanking you for the opportunity to be able to address this board. I'm Stephanie Edie Britt, and I'm appearing before you tonight as a concerned citizen and as a resident of the West End community. You all are being asked to rezone a piece of property from residential to commercial so that the owners of that property can build a crematorium facing Market Street. And while I realize that this board has very little control over what the property owner can do with their property, rezoning would sort of pave the way for that property owner to place that facility on that, in that area. And for my own, I am opposed this rezoning necessary because we really don't want a crematorium in our neighborhood. I mean, we're afraid of the short and long-term effects and on our properties and on ourselves. And I've read all the documents I could get my hands on, you know, some that have been shared about this particular project. And I just don't see anything, haven't seen enough to let me know that this is going to be safe in the long term and the short term. So I do oppose it. I do know that there's seemingly all of the material that I have been presented with comes from either the people that want to put it there or people that may be supporting putting it there. But I'm sorry, I'm just not convinced that this is something that's going to be a safe and a good move for our neighborhood. I know that surrounding communities have them, you know, and I've been given some places and some addresses and all that sort of stuff, and haven't been able to get any sort of information that comforts me. I've been told that we always know when they're operating. So, you know, and I'm saying, what does that mean? Well, we don't know what that means, but we always know when they're operating. So is there a smell? Is there something? Is there something? Well, my last thing is,
Let's wrap it up.
yeah, I have a food truck and I can't operate in a residential area. So I fail to see the logic that allows a crematorium to operate there when I can't operate a food truck. So, thank you.
Mr. Britt?
Good evening, everyone. Basically, I'm going to piggyback off of what my wife has already said. Primarily, if you're looking at operating something that really, I've yet to find regulations that support this. I have yet to find regulations that say they can build a crematorium in a residential area, yet, as my wife has already stated, we can't operate a food truck in a residential area. We are definitely selling something to the benefit of the public. I fail to see the real benefit of putting a crematorium in a residential area. And again, we're just looking for justification for this. We have yet to hear it other than convenience. And convenience sometimes goes against the public good. And I don't think this is a public good. Yield.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Barry Brown.
Yeah, my name is Barry Brown. I'm with Brown Construction, and Mr. Brad had contacted me some time ago with this thought of building a crematory, and we looked at the property, and just to let everybody know, I really do respect everyone's opinion, whether I can agree with it or not, and thank everybody for coming to express their concerns. We have a panel of people here tonight that can answer any questions that could possibly come up. And I just wanted to start out by saying that when I met with Mr. Brad, he was going the extra mile to place his crematory on a particular lot over there because aesthetically it will be much better for the neighboring community. And we can and are allowed to go to either side of it right now without rezoning anything. And he's spending a lot of extra effort and money going through these hearings and everything to make it more conducive for the neighborhood. And I had one comment from the fellows earlier, the lady earlier, that it will not be facing Market Street. It's going to be facing due east, which is towards downtown Fayetteville. And we've got people that can answer a lot of questions that I could probably give you information on, but I'm going to save my time to address anything that anybody has questions about as far as the actual placement of it. It's going to be a beautiful building. I know that Brad and his daughter and his team over there are very concerned about the aesthetics, the buffering of it on three sides, and I just think that if you'll kind of look at your options and know that it can either go to the left of that house or it can go to the right of that house without anybody's approval here, we decided to put it here because it's more conducive, much more attractive, and it's a great looking facility. And I'll let everybody else talk about the technical functions, the data that goes behind it to support this, and the surrounding areas where all the other crematories are located at, in residential and commercial areas that border one another. And if there's any questions, I'd love to answer them.
We can't ask and answer this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I made a mistake last time and not asking.
Thank you. Next up, we have Gary McArdle.
Good evening. I am Rabbi Minister Gary McArdle. I live at 518 Market Street West, 30 steps, not feet, from where Galat Funeral Home wishes to place this crematorium. In Judaism, we believe that it is to restore love, respect, humanity, and the community and the environment. In my view, this is not about appeal, but it is about convenience and ideal without consideration for the community. The one this business claims that they love and support and they want to service. This business has stated they own other properties. One of those properties happens to be a cemetery, which it would be much better for this crematorium to be built in. Not 30 steps from my front door that I have to breathe in, I have to smell every morning, and I have to look at. It might be convenient for them, but this is going to hurt my property value, it is going to hurt my health, and I am urging you and begging you to vote no on this, to send the message to them to please even consider your other piece of property that you said, and do not put this 30 steps from my front door. Thank you for the time, folks.
Thank you. Mr. James Waller.
James Waller. First, I'd like to say it doesn't matter if it's a beautiful building, if you're getting toxins in your body. That's the first thing. It doesn't matter how pretty the building is, if I'm getting toxins in my body.
Sir, you need
And
to-
I've got documentation of studies that were done 2024, 2025, that said you're gonna get all kind of toxins, the harm that you can get from having a crematorium in your neighborhood, and these are recent studies. I've known that this board, people have come and asked this board to not have businesses in their neighborhood where there were no ill effects, no harmful health effects. So this board should take in great consideration where there will be some kind of harmful health effects. And personally, my first duty station overseas was Marine Corps Air Station, Iwakuni, Japan. They had a crematorium there. It was 5 or 6 miles away. The whole city stank. The whole city, all the time. And you see smoke coming out. I've read one regulation where you have to have some kind of way where even though they have filters now, but you have to have some kind of way where you still have emissions that have to come out of the building. So no matter what, you're going to have emissions coming out of there, and they're going to be harmful emissions. And also, I brought a memorandum up here. I don't know if you guys got it yet, but it says that the board, if you is liable, the Government Tort Liability Act is removed. If you acquiesce in having something subject people to something that's harmful. It's called ordinary negligence, where you know, and you're getting constructive and actual notice right now of the harmful effects that it may cause. So the board would be liable, joint and several, and the zoning commission all together. So that's something for you to take into consideration, because this thing is not a good deal.
Sir, your time is up. Thank you.
All right. Y'all did get these, you said?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Next, we have Victoria Broderick, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Just crossed out there.
Hi guys, I'm Victoria Broderick. I'm also the candidate for U.S. Congress for this district. I actually live here in Fayetteville, Tennessee, and I do have a vested interest considering this is not, this is in my neighborhood essentially. Past the fact that it looks pretty, I think about the overall home values that it will negatively affect this community. I think it is suspect, as someone with privilege, the location of this crematorium, and I will speak to that. The environmental issues are, we know Tennessee state legislature doesn't care about Tennessee residents. If they did, they would be protecting US citizens better, or Tennessee residents. Impacts on tourism, that was brought up in the last meeting, and I think this will negatively affect, considering the multiple, my own post as well as the news articles that are coming out about this. People look at that when they come to our city, and our city deserves to have as much tourism as possible. And also, speaking as a mother with 2 small children who love walking to the square every single weekend, I do not feel comfortable having this close to my home. You have another location that you can put it in, put it there, out of these areas. It is unacceptable to have things like this in our beautiful community. I don't want downtown to suffer as someone who has a vested interest. So hopefully you all will vote no in order to make it better for the entire community, and we can look at additional options, because I understand that it's a business and they have to do business elsewhere. I appreciate your time, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Michael Hall.
Good evening. For those of us who have not met, my name is Michael Hall. I've had the privilege of serving Fayetteville and Lincoln County in the funeral service for over 30 years. I'm a licensed funeral director, embalmer, and a certified crematory operator. In beginning to think about this project, we had some of the same concerns. We want the same information that everyone else that lives in this community, worship in this community, I work in this community. We have those same concerns. In looking at property values, we studied Pulaski, Columbia, Spring Hill, Hazel Green, Huntsville, Shelbyville, Winchester, and Lewisburg all have crematories operating within half a mile of residential areas. In some cases, there are 2 crematories operating in that same half-mile radius. The presence of these facilities has had no verifiable negative impact on the property values in those communities. Those numbers are available to anyone, and we've looked those up to see. I don't know of any negative impact it's had on their tourism. Some of those towns seem to be doing quite well in that regard. What they have, the effect they have had in those communities, however, is to contribute to the tax base in those communities. Now, I had the opportunity last week, and I enjoyed the opportunity to come and sit in on the work session. I was encouraged by that, to hear the discussion about paving the streets and how you seek to have the funding for that, how you seek to wisely use the funding for those things, and how you seek to increase revenue to make funding for those things available. Proposals like this, business expansion like this, is part of that process to increase those revenues. I did want to share with you one thing that I saw in looking at our city website. At the bottom of each page, under the heading About Us, it says this: in Fayetteville, we believe in supporting our community. We promote and foster local economic growth by assisting present and potential new business owners with ways to expand and strengthen their businesses.
Mr. Alderman, it's your
I
time.
believe that, and this is an opportunity to do just that.
Thank you. Brooke Fanning.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Brooke Gallant Fanning. My family has owned a funeral home and served the community for 75 years, and next year it will be 75 years. My grandparents opened our funeral home with one goal, which was to care for the families of the community. And in 1964, they moved to our current location on West College Street, which on the opposite end is West Market Street. Our work has always been about service, and it continues to this day. When the needs of the community changed, my grandparents changed with them, expanding in different ways to serve the families. Today, the funeral home is operated by my father and myself, and we're now third generation of running the business. Once again, we're responding to changes in the community, and we own the property at 521 West Market Street, which is in question this evening. It sits between 2 commercially zoned properties, which we already own and are currently parking lots. Tonight's vote is simply about rezoning these property to commercial use so our land can be consistently zoned and allow for responsible long-term planning on our part. Since the topic of discussion has been cremation, I want to address that. More families than ever are choosing cremation nationally. The cremation rate in 2020 was 56.2, and currently it is 61.8%. In the state of Tennessee alone, cremation in 2020 was 41.4%, and the last census on that was 49.1%. This is not a trend driven by convenience. It's by personal, financial, and cultural preferences, and we believe the families deserve to be served, remain close to home, supported by people they trust, and that's why we would believe a crematory would give us the tools we need to best serve our community. As a licensed crematory operator and a mother, I would not put myself or the community in danger if I felt that this was unsafe. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Okay, and the final speaker tonight is Tom, I hope I don't mess this up.
Yep.
Kroll. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Tom Kroll, Vice President, Cremation Systems. We build the equipment in Chicago, a family-owned and operated business. I'm a construction engineer by education, College of Environmental Science and Forestry, State of New York. Undoubtedly, we always have to, and I've addressed a lot of this type forum regarding cremation. Luckily, in the state of Tennessee, you have a very clear set of rules and regulations as it relates to air permitting. We've got multiple units in the state of Tennessee that will completely abide by the air emissions program that the state has set up. So generally, I'll stand here, and whether I'm in Iowa or Nebraska or Illinois, it really, we understand some of the pseudoscience that's out there on the internet for anti-environmental issues that it relates. But truthfully, the federal government doesn't touch anything that relates with human cremation. They're interested in Title V, which is large source. The governments, the state governments, and the federal governments consider human cremation as a small source. If you're really interested in the environment, then truthfully, in the state of Tennessee or Iowa or others, you should be looking from a legislative standpoint to reduce the emissions, which are easily done based on a modern cremation chamber. It has opacity sensors on the stack, so if there is any sort of smoke, the system automatically reacts. It has a 1600 degree afterburner, which a mobile unit cooking food on the street probably doesn't have. So the ability to have odors, to have smoke in a modern cremation chamber, it's connected to the internet. If Gallant was to have a problem, they can call us on the phone, we can go online. Thank you very much. I can answer any other questions.
Okay, that concludes our public comments for tonight. We will move now to the oath of office and recognition. Chief Jennings is under the weather tonight, so I think we have Commander Rodriguez will be coming forth with the certificates, and we'll swear these officers in at this time.
Dale Colson, Mary Jenkins, Sherelle Summers, and Jasmine May.
Y'all just go in here and face the audience, please. Okay, if you will, swearing in, raise your right hand and repeat after me. For it to state your name, you state your name. I, Mary Jenkins, do solemnly swear that I will honestly and faithfully discharge the duties of the office for the City of Fayetteville. Discharge the duties of the office for the City of Fayetteville, Tennessee, and to which I have been appointed and which I am about to assume, without partiality, favor or affection, and that I will uphold the Constitution of the State of Tennessee, and the United States of America, and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Fayetteville. So help me God.
I'm gonna go this way, I'll come back down.
Tonight, we have reporting to the board, CEO Britt Dye of Fayetteville Public Utilities.
Thank you, Mayor. Most of my report tonight is going to be about the water infrastructure that's going on, so we will all know and be on the same page to clear up some questions that you may have during your work sessions. Jack and I have been working very, very close on the communication part of these streets. And I believe, unless there's a different email, I think I send an email out every morning or every other morning, 4 times a week, whatever it may be, to inform everybody of where we are. So the questions come up about paving the streets of the work that we got going on, that being responsible to pave the whole street, we cannot borrow funds, the federal and state money, to pave an entire street unless we tear up the entire street. We are not tearing up the entire street. I know the way it looks like the entire street, but the pieces that we tearing up is what's required by what the state TDOT rule is on that highway, plus what your requirements are on patching back when we make service connections, repairs in the street. It just so happens that the sewer is located in the middle of the street. So anytime we have a connection, we're going to dig up the street. We have no choice unless we say no more connections. The other part of where we are repairing the water, some of this infrastructure that we're working on is better than 100 years old. And y'all have gotten pictures of the infrastructure that I have sent out, and we put in the paper and shown you what kind of shape this infrastructure is in that needs to be replaced many years ago, before my time. But we're trying to get it done. We got the funds to get it done. It's getting harder all the time to get state funding when we got better than a $30 million project, and we're trying to do the best that we can do of communicating with the public. We get on social media. I saw Mr. Albright here tonight. He does a fantastic job of putting us on the radio about every day to let you know that what we're doing. The other question came up about where is the priority list. A priority list goes all the way back to 2008. Street paving, 2008. Street paving list, 2010. Street paving list, 2012. Street paving list, 2024, 2025. And we had a meeting we did with some of you all talking about the street paving list on the priority list. And what we try to do when we plan our work is follow the list that we were given that was going to be repaved, which the first street was 3rd Avenue. It was a priority street. We had work to do on that street. We thought we would go in, get the work done, so the paving can get done, and we don't have to come back and dig it up. But it so happened on 3rd Avenue, we did have to make a cut because some of the other infrastructure is so old, and when you put a roller and a packer on that road, if we got something loose or deteriorated, it breaks it apart. That's why we had to cut that hole. But it is to be paved when the paving company starts back up to get that section paved. The other part is to communicate with the city, which we've been doing, and we also plan more improvements, but with the list that we got from the city on the priority list, North Bellevue, South Bellevue, we've got that infrastructure replaced. Still got water over there on North Bellevue every time it rains, but it's not city water. It is spring water that still comes up out of that street. So that's not our water. We're disconnecting all that over in that area. We got our fire hydrant just running at the corner of the First National Bank. The reason being is because we got a valve that's leaking on the old infrastructure. We can't get it cut off until we replace that section of line that's on College Street. So coming up, when we get ready to do more of the replacement, we're going down North Lincoln right now. We're aggravating those people now. Got off Mulberry just a little bit, but we're fixing to go back to Mulberry Avenue. So we got to work on that section. We got to go to Bright Avenue. We got to go from North Main off the corner of the square. We got to go north, go to Bellevue, to Bright Avenue. Then we got to come back, and we got to tie everything in from north of the square, going north around to where the road comes up off of North Lincoln, and we got to make a tie. Now, when we make those ties, TDOT, I have been meeting with TDOT for several days, and TDOT's plan is in 2028 to pave the road from Fritz's all the way around North Main, coming into the square, taking the left on the north side of the square, going all the way out to the bypass at the traffic light, at the intersection, where we're working out there as well. So that's their plan in 28. That's what I was informed today. The other section they're going to be paving in 2028 is from the chicken shell on 64 Highway West. They're coming around the square. They're coming up right there at Jonathan Brown's office, turning right, going down to Patrick Rehab. That's another section of road that they got on their plans to pave. That was told to me this afternoon. So with all that we got going on, we hate it. Trust me, we hate it. But now we got to go back and redo everything on Mulberry Avenue. Not the infrastructure as far as the pipe, but I have not and will not take the paving because it is totally unacceptable. So they're going to have to mill it up. They got to square it up. They got to come back in there and they got to repave. Now it's got to be anywhere from 55 to 60 degrees for volunteers if they're going to come in and pave. So weather is the main issue here. How's the weather going to be? But we got to go back. We got to mill the cross cuts on Mulberry, where we had to open cut the services from the right side coming into town to the left side, where we had to do those open cuts. We had no choice. We just had to make the open cuts. They got to be milled. Got to be flowable field. That's what's required by the state, and that's where we are on Mulberry Avenue. But it's going to take time. We're going to have to put plates back down in the road, all that kind of stuff again. But if we're going to pay the money, we want to make sure it's done right. And it's going to be done right before we sign off on anything to get a payment. So right now, that's what we can hold is payment. So it's got to be done right. The other part right now, what we have installed so far on this job, we've installed over 5,000 feet of 12-inch, 476 feet of 10-inch, 154 feet of 8-inch, 6,226 feet of 6-inch, 14 insertion valves. The insertion valves is what we lack right now that was not put in on the system, of where you can isolate your issue where you don't have a whole big section of area out when it's not necessary. So it's better to have 100 customers out instead of 300 customers out. Very, very important. The other part that we have done is we've installed 72 fire hydrants. Some of those in the 40s. So we're replacing every hydrant of where we're doing this rehab to put new hydrants. You got a 12-inch line, it's feeding, the pressure's tremendous, the flow is great, better than what we ever had here in a long time. But the requirements today are different. S.J. King Park, we're going to be having a setup over in the park area next to one of the pavilions where we got to make a board under that bypass over toward the ball fields to make another tie that heads out that direction. So you're going to have redundancy as far as water. You're gonna have redundancy as far as our wastewater that we're trying to make improvements on. We're digging tonight over there at the corner of the storage facilities on Mulberry Avenue, because what we found when we were putting the water line in, we have a sewer issue right there that we were not aware of. We'll be digging that up tonight and fixing it. And we're also fixing storm drains as we tear them up. That's running right in there in together and butting in some of our sewer lines as well, because they're tied together. When you got more inflow coming in, they're getting them to our sewer lines that's going to the wastewater plant. Well, we fixed a lot of those problems when we did the sewer rehab improvements, because we had over 9,000 fluids coming into the plant when it would rain, because of all the inflow that was coming in from the storm drains as well. And then we got that down less than 4,000 now on a big heavy rain event. So it's a lot of improvements. And like I said, most of the system that we have hit so far is better than 100 years old, or right at 100 years old. And you know, it's a big job. It's supposed to last about 3 years. And we do apologize for it, but it's got to be done. So it's going to be done now, it's going to be done later, but it's got to get done if you want good, quality, safe drinking water. That's what we're responsible for. We got to keep our customers safe, and it's our job to be sure they got what they're supposed to be getting, that they're paying their rates for. So with that, I'll cover just a little bit on the electric side, let y'all got questions about the water. Electric side, we're expanding. We're building 3-phase down to the state line. We're hoping a little bit more influx will be coming in from Alabama. We want to be prepared to carry the load with all the 3-phase that we're converting from single phase down that area as well. Cold water, we've been converting to 3-phase too. So wherever the growth is going on, we got a 25-year plan of what we try to look at of building system improvements throughout the entire county. So we got that plan. We tweak it every year. The board approves the capital projects that we got on the list to get done. So we're moving with that. The fiber is expanding more in the rural community. We're putting in fiber to the home. We're boring now and getting the main line in at the country club right now as we speak. They're trying to get that done, but everywhere we go inside the city, it's all rock. A lot of our slow time on Mulberry Avenue is solid rock. We hit solid rock last night over there on Shelby Highway where the road splits. We're hitting solid rock over here on North Lincoln, over in that area too, so it takes time. It's aggravating. Again, we apologize. I do appreciate Jack's help. I can't say enough about trying to keep us informed, and me trying to keep him informed. And also the city police is doing a tremendous job. We ask for help. They show up and give us a hand. I appreciate that as too. But a lot of work. If people would just pay attention to our signs, our cones, our flashing sign. We poured fresh concrete on Washington Street on the east end. Tractor trailer truck come up Mulberry Avenue from town. They got out, they moved the cones, they moved our barrels, turned down Washington Street, ran all through the concrete that we just poured. So then after he runs through it, he gets out and puts the cones back up. So, you know, that's what we're dealing with here. And we have tractor trailer trucks that bust through Mulberry Avenue, and we all up there working. We had 3 like they got hit the other night by just not paying attention or something, or their GPS. You know, if it's the way it says we gotta go, we gotta go. But we're dealing with that. Again, I apologize to the public. I'm just lucky to be the man that you need to call, I guess. But we'll handle it the best we can. And first, we have customers that come in and says, Britt, can you get this done to my driveway while we're working? We'll go out there, we'll put some cold mix in, whatever we gotta do to help the customer out. And they appreciate that. And we're gonna help them out as much as we can to get that done. But right now, we're pouring concrete down Washington. It's going to continue on. We're waiting on our back T test from Franklin to Lincoln so we can hook those customers up. Then we'll get all that filled in with concrete, get that street patched back like it needs to be, and then maybe we'll get off out of the inner part of town at some point in time. So I'd be glad to answer any questions.
I would just say it's great to hear that Mulberry's not done, that it's not up to the par that you want and the city wants, and it's good to know that that's going to be fixed. I had a question about, I know that FPU's taken on Petersburg Water now. Do you...
Not yet.
Not yet. Going to. Do you suspect that there's going to be a capacity issue for us in Fayetteville, either manpower or the amount of resources that you have on staff, to really make sure that you can go do things in Petersburg, but also maintain what we're doing in the downtown or the city limits?
It will be handled the same way that we do our work here. It's a whole different set of books. The rates will not affect what goes on here in the city of Fayetteville. It's entirely separate. We had to make sure we dealt with the comptroller's office, as that's the way it had to be, because the ratepayers here have already paid for what we're doing. They don't need to be paying for what's going on in Petersburg, right? So we got a different set of books. They do have problems. We know they have problems, but right now we haven't actually taken them over at this point in time because they got problems that they got to get fixed. They got ARPA funds. They need to get them fixed. I will say it, the city mayor doesn't like it too good up there, but until you get these problems fixed, we're not ready to take it over. Comptroller's office has been aware of that. They are in the process of changing all their meters right now. We hope that we'll be able to find a lot of problems. You know, once the meters get changed, there's one thing about a water meter. When you change it out, they get slower. They don't get faster, the older they are. You got some very old infrastructure. Same, it's almost what we got here to some degree, but it's a lot of work to be done up there. And, you know, manpower, we just have to see how it turns out based on what we find once we get in there. But 400 customers is what they have, and based on what their water limitations are of their storage tank, you know, it needs work as well. We're trying to see if we can do it a different way over a study, because we'll run the hydraulic plan like what we have here in the city to fill tanks and those kinds of things, but we'll just have to wait and see how it pans out.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we move into our standing committee reports. The first up is Chief Bergman, Fire Department.
Thank you, Mayor. For the month of December, the fire department responded to 126 calls for service. This included 4 fires, 108 EMS calls, 1 service call, and 8 good intent calls and 5 false alarms. This wrapped up the year of 2025 with the fire department responding to 1,599 calls for service. That's my report.
Thank you, sir. Moving to the police department, since Chief Jennings is out under the weather, reporting is going to be our city administrator, Kevin Owen.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, board. The chief is reporting for the month of December, incidents 107, arrests 55, traffic crashes 30, total citations 142, police activity events 1,867. As far as this criminal investigation division, there's a total of cases of 474. That means new cases 12, cases closed 6, cases to cold file 0, arrests 0, and grand jury 3. He also wanted to report on the monthly activities with animal control. For last month, we had with the city, we had 5 incidents with dogs being brought to our shelter from the city, 30 from the county, a total of 35. Total service calls from the city were 10, county 19, and total 29. 16 animals were adopted, and there's going to be a total of 34 dogs currently in the shelter. And that's the police report.
Thank you. Moving now to the finance department, Director Garner.
Yes, local option sales tax received in the month of December was $342,094. This is an increase of 4.5%. State share sales tax was $79,132. That is an increase of 3.6%. Occupancy tax received was $8,966. That is a decrease of 29.7%. That is my report.
Thank you. Parks and Recs Department, Director Browning.
Thank you, Mayor. Spring sports registration is open. Baseball will be open until February the 27th, as well as volleyball through February 27th, and softball until March the 20th. Our Champions League, which are our adapted baseball league, it's brand new this year, will be open until March 16th. And our Kids Invite Someone Special Dance will be Saturday, February the 7th, at the Rec Center from 6 to 8 p.m. They can register on the rec desk or come by the rec department and we'll get you taken care of. And that's my report.
Thank you. Public Works Department, Director Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. So, at Public Works for the month of December, the Sanitation Department picked up 320 tons of household waste. The Street Department picked up 188 tons of brush and leaves. Our garage completed 31 work order requests and also keeping our equipment going. Also want to say that we will observe Martin Luther King Jr. Day on the 19th of Monday. So the garbage pickup for that day will be delayed until Tuesday. The rest of the week will run as usual. That's my report.
Okay, thank you. Planning Codes Department, Director Gentry.
Thank you, Mayor. We issued 7 building permits in the month of December. The total project valuation was $75,559. The total permit fees was $889. For our year-end permit report for 2025, we issued a total of 217 permits, collected $31,336 in fees, and the project valuation was $8,527,291. We were up in 25, issuing 45 more building permits than in 24, and 12 new residential homes were also built. We do want to welcome Teresa Crabtree. She's our new property maintenance inspector. She started last week and is doing very well in her role. We did receive a wonderful audit report from the state residential supervisor. The memo stated that we are adequately enforcing the residential code and performing inspections properly. And I want to thank Ms. Jill Smith for her work on the questionnaire, and then her and Jack Williams worked on the on-site visit. And that's my report.
Thank you. Now we'll have the City Administrator report, Kevin Owens.
Thank you again, Mayor. Good evening, Board. For the month of January, we're going to work until the end of the month. We're going to start after this meeting fully putting our attention to the strategic planning. As you all know, that is going to be January 31st. So you will see a series of emails from myself or Debbie giving you instructions about today and how we do plan. That is an 8 to about 4 p.m. event. We've been working with MTS, EMA building, just set everything up. So we're going to provide more information to you as well as the public in upcoming days. And in that session, we're looking at giving a presentation on fleet management. Jack called a meeting late December, and we have a big plan for it, as well as the entertainment district, which we also had a meeting back in, I guess, maybe 2 weeks ago. And we also plan to bring information to the board to look at strategic planning. In addition, for the remainder of the month, we'll be working on finance issues. We got pre-budget for the 26-27 has begun, so we'll work on that, as well as the mid-year, which we plan to give that to you all at the next work session, as well as the audit report. Our finance director is retiring this month. She will be with us for the February work session for mid-year, but we are in the process of interviewing right now and going through financial transitions at the present time. We have several grants that we're looking at the present time. Some are on the agenda to vote for and intent to apply. So we're working with that, as well as some existing grants to get them moving. We have developed a 60-day plan to take the 1803 Winchester property to auction. So we're looking at doing that hopefully in mid to late February. And recently, all of the staff have brushed up on the inclement weather policy. So if we have weather including snow, ice, flooding, tornadoes, our staff feel prepared that we know what to do and how to alert the public to what's going on. In the next few weeks, we're going to look at our ADA activities for the remainder of this fiscal year. And just to let the board know that in the morning, we will have another comprehensive animal control meeting with the county, and that's how we're looking at future plans for the county. And that concludes my report, unless you have questions.
Questions? Thank you, Mr. Owens. We have no unfinished business at this time, so we're gonna move into the new business. Item number A is Resolution R-2026-01. This is to accept the Transportation Alternatives Program, also known as the TAP grant. You have in your package a copy of the resolution. This grant is in the amount of $500,471. This represents 80% of the grant. The city would need to match it by $125,117.75 for a total of $625,588.75. So I need a motion to accept the grant.
Motion to accept.
Motion by Alderman Keenan, second.
Second.
Second, Alderman Alder. Any discussion?
Do we know what account the matching comes out of? Is it gonna be general fund?
The match money, what will it come up?
It will have to come out of general fund, but we have looked at, there is some money in the grant fund that we may be able to utilize. But right now, at this point, it's still all being looked at.
And we have that 65,000, so there's different funds.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Did we call the vote?
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen?
No.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Miss Small?
No.
That motion carries. Item B, this is Resolution R-2026-02. This is requesting permission to apply for the Office of Outdoor Recreation Grant. This is coming through Parks and Recs. You have it presented to you there, and this is just the request to apply.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Allen, second by Alderman Keenan. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Miss Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Miss Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item C, this is for Resolution R-2026-03. This is the request to apply for a Community Development Block Grant. Kevin and I have an appointment coming up with the South Central Tennessee Development District to discuss the potential projects that we could do with this grant. So this is just a request to apply. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve or apply.
First motion by Alderman Keenan, second.
Second.
Second, Alderman Alder. Any discussion?
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Miss Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item D, this is Resolution R-2026-4. This is for the 4th Avenue project, property. There was a request by a landowner at the end of 4th Avenue who does not have access to his property. And by allowing him an easement to access that property for egress and ingress, strictly for a driveway to reach his property. You've been presented a copy of this resolution. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Alder, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Allen. Any discussion? Debbie, you call the vote.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Miss Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
This motion carries. Item E, this is approval of the Fayetteville City School MOU volleyball agreement. This is between the City of Fayetteville and Fayetteville City Schools to be able to use the gymnasium, and this is for a period of March the 9th through May the 9th, 2026, for volleyball and for their practices, right? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Small, second. Second by Alderman Bradford, Vice Mayor Bradford. Any discussion? Did we call the vote?
Mr. Faulkner.
Aye.
Ms. Small.
Aye.
Mr. Alder.
Aye.
Miss Allen.
Aye.
Mr. Bradford.
Aye.
Mr. Keenan.
Aye.
That motion carries. Item F, this is for approval of the new animal control escrow bank account. We have been under, I guess, reconstruction of the animal control, and the funds were all going into one account. So for the ease of bookkeeping and to make things more transparent and keep everything separated, we would like to open a bank account where any fees, fines, donations, adoption fees, anything like that would go into this bank account. And then the city and the county, the board of the animal control, would meet if needs come up, if we need construction, if emergency, anything like that, that board would vote on how to use this money. But it would be in a separate bank account. Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Faulkner, second by Alderman Keenan. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Ms. Small.
Aye.
Mr. Alder.
Aye.
Miss Allen.
Aye.
Mr. Bradford.
Aye.
Mr. Keenan.
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner.
Aye.
That motion carries. Item G, this goes hand in hand with item F, and this is the authorization for myself, Vice Mayor Bradford, Kevin Owens, and the Finance Director to conduct business in the new animal control escrow account. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Keenan.
Second.
Second by Alderman Small. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Mr. Alder.
Aye.
Miss Allen.
Aye.
Mr. Bradford.
Aye.
Mr. Keenan.
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner.
Aye.
Ms. Small.
Aye.
That motion carries. Moving now to item H, this is approval for the budget calendar for the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. You've been presented this calendar beginning April the 21st, and it goes through June the 16th. You need to check those dates, mark your calendars, but we'll need to adopt it first. So do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Alderman Allen makes the motion, second by Alderman Keenan. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Miss Allen.
Aye.
Mr. Bradford.
Aye.
Mr. Keenan.
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner.
Aye.
Ms. Small.
Aye.
Mr. Alder.
Aye.
That motion carries. Item I, this is to move the fire truck funds budgeted in the year 24-25 and 25 and 26 from the idle capital banking account into a CD. By doing this, in preparation for the new fire truck that we've ordered, we will take this money, put it in a CD to make some money while we're waiting on the fire truck to arrive. So do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve putting this amount of money into a CD, and it's $500,000 at this time. So do I have a second?
Second.
Second. First motion is Vice Mayor Bradford, second Alderman Keenan. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Mr. Bradford.
Aye.
Mr. Keenan.
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner.
Aye.
Ms. Small.
Aye.
Mr. Alder.
Aye.
Miss Allen.
Aye.
That motion carries. So item J, this is also in conjunction with the previous motion or item. This is to approve, you've been presented the rates for the CDs that we just voted for. And so looking at this, we'll need to select one of the banking institutions to place this money. It is recommended by the Director of Finance that we look at the Bank of Lincoln County. On a 6-month rate, it's 3.7%. At a 12-month rate, this is the highest response given, is 3.6%. Not knowing what the interest rate is going to do at the end of that 6 months, it may go down, but we can lock in 12 months for 3.60.
I'd like to recommend the 3.6 for 12 months with rates possibly continuing to go down, so.
I'll second that.
Okay, so the motion was made by Alderman Alder, second by Alderman Keenan, and that is for the Bank of Lincoln County, a 12-month rate of 3.60. So our finance director will take care of that for us. Any discussion? Any more discussion? David, call.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
That motion carries. Moving to item K, this is for signature of the Fayetteville City School TEMA Dome Project contract. This is approval for the mayor to sign the contract. The amount of money on this is $8,912,768.90. We've been through this for quite some time now, and seeing if we have a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Vice Mayor Bradford,
Second.
second by Alderman Small. Any discussion?
Could we hear from the team ago, that'd be out of line?
Yeah, that's, we added him to the contract. I ran it past legal, and that would be fine. Shannon Ball. Would you come forward for questions?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, I'm Shannon. I'm the State Hazard Mitigation Officer, so I'll be open to answer any questions that y'all may have.
Are we ready to proceed upon signature of?
Yes, sir. Once the contract is signed by the city and the tag, which is in Nashville, then the contract is in place and the money is there, and you can start your construction, whatever phase you're in. All that stuff is already there.
And it's, Eric may have to help me with this, but I know we filed an extension, our school system filed an extension or a request for the difference in funds.
So yes, that cost overrun has been approved. So the extension was approved as well, so that will go through.
That would go to February the 16th, 2027, I believe. Is
Yes.
that correct? Okay. Any other questions?
I think I had the question about, was the money from the federal government in the state? And I believe the email that we received from the board is that, yes, that is true, that it is in the state's coffers. It's not waiting on the federal government to submit it, and that it's a requirement of the state of Tennessee that you cannot start a project without the funding being in a state account.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct, and you can't start a project until, the contract is signed. I did send out the SmartLink account. I think I highlighted it, and you can see that's where the money is, and that's the account number that's associated with it that you all have.
And then I think we also received an email about information on the questioning on if the school system is able to run a community shelter, or if that's a requirement of our EMA system or the city or county. Is there any way you can give some guidance on that?
Yeah, just to clarify, a shelter and a safe room are two different things. So a safe room is a short-term life safety thing. Shelter is long-term to medium-term. So then you would have your O&M plan, your operation and management plan details all that out, and y'all have a draft copy of that. Those details will be how to explain how the safe room is operated and how it's how the city manages that is up to the city. The state has no, and the feds have no say-so over that. It just has to be maintained as a safe room. So my understanding is it's supposed to be a gymnasium too. So as long as it doesn't change, and it doesn't change that, the way the safe room is constructed on the inside, you can do whatever you want to with it. It just has to be maintained that. But there's a huge difference between a shelter and a safe room. Shelter is right after a disaster. You've got people in there for weeks, days, months, weeks. versus a safe room, which is rated for 4 to 5 hours or possibly more if needed.
Okay, so from the state, there's no regulations on who can run a safe room. That would be on the liability of the city.
Correct. That is your choosing. It is your building with federal stipulations. You all, if you want the EMA director to operate it, he can, or if you point somebody totally different, it's totally up to this board and who you want to operate and manage that safe room.
Are there any other safe rooms managed by the school board in the state of Tennessee?
Yes, there are. When you say managed, you know, you have people.
Operated?
I'm sorry.
Operated?
Yes. Yes.
And they manage and control the operating hour or the opening and the closing of it and that.
Yes, they have multiple. It's not just one person or one group of people. You can do the police chief, fire chief, EMA director, an alderman, a constable, whatever you have. You all choose who opens and closes the shelter. The state only has, because it's a school, we recommend that if it's during school hours, that is dedicated for the children and the people on site, because not everybody can be around children, and there's no way to police that. But during the summer, after a time you set during the day, you can let anybody in there at that point.
So when you say city will manage it, are you talking about the city of Fayetteville or Fayetteville City Schools?
That's between you two. You all can, Eric can do it, you can do it, I don't know, that's up to you all.
Because we've never been told that before.
Ever been told that you
Strictly
can't manage it?
that we would be managing that.
It's your choice. It doesn't, there's not I can't tell you what to do, so it'll be between you and the school board who does that.
You mentioned a plan on how to run it. Does the plan include that information?
I haven't seen your plan. There's multiple different plans out there, but there's just been a draft copy approved from my understanding, so I haven't read your plan.
We haven't either. I haven't read the plan, so. And how many persons will this occupy at any given time?
I really don't know at this moment. It just
They
depends on
were
the.
told somewhere around 3,000, but you're saying in a school day, the only people that can go in this building are students.
That's what we recommend, because you have people that are not allowed to be around children, so that's a safety thing for us.
It's a liability for the system.
Correct.
Because quite frankly, the city of Fayetteville does not have the money nor the staff to manage this building, and I have not heard this before, so that kind of concerns me.
Okay, so it's totally up between you and the school board. I mean, you all decide who's gonna operate the shelter or the safe room, and then, you know, it's up to you all.
We'll have Director Jones.
Okay.
It was my understanding, and I think the board's understanding that, we're more or less, flow through.
Right.
But the school system itself would be responsible for opening and closing.
Yeah.
Yes, that has always been our plan, and we do have an O&M operations and maintenance plan draft. It was drafted years ago. I've emailed copies of that to the city. It's also a part generally of the application itself, so that information is there. We have no intent to burden anyone with the city with the operation, but we do. I want to commit. I am very interested in any partnerships with any of the first responders, anyone who would like to be a part of it. We're very open to that. The O&M is typically finalized during the closeout so that you can have the most current dates and contact information in it. So,
Yes, that's dead on. Perfect.
Any other questions? Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that was discussion, so.
Anything else? You go ahead and.
Okay.
Okay, for the vote.
Okay. Mr. Faulkner?
No.
Ms. Small? Aye. Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford? Mr. Keenan?
No.
That motion passes.
Can we clarify that it's just for you to sign?
Yes.
Give you permission to sign?
Clarification on this motion is that this is only for the mayor to sign this agreement. It's the governmental grant contract. I'm not in favor of this contract, but it is, I have to have, according to the city charter, the board's approval before I sign anything. It is a part of our process. And anything that comes before the board on this contract will also need approval, so. Okay, so that motion passes. We'll move down to item L. And item L is the ordinance 2026-01. The only thing that we're voting on tonight here is the rezoning of 521 Market Street West, and this is from a R3 to a C3. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Keenan, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Alder. Any discussion? Did we
Yes,
call it?
hold on, I got it.
Okay.
Who's the, you?
Which one?
As far as the owner, as my understanding that you're planning on building this regardless, as I understand it, to support the community requirement. Is that correct?
That is our plan.
Any other questions?
I've got one, I think, for our planning and zoning. Is this considered a spot zoning
No, sir.
because it's residential in between two commercial lots?
No, sir, because your rezoning would be adjacent to a contiguous C3.
Also, the fire department presented, and they had points about the ease for them and the protection for the fire protection and everything. That was presented to the board in the work session. So, any other discussion?
I do have a question for my, maybe, do you know what day that y'all purchased that lot, the grass lot there offhand?
I don't know
It's
exactly.
been, I'd say, safe to say, over a couple of years, 3 years.
Certainly.
Okay.
Any other? Debbie, call the vote, please.
Ms. Small?
No.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Abstain.
Mr. Keenan?
No.
Mr. Faulkner?
No.
Failed.
That motion failed. Okay, we'll move on forward to item N. That's ordinance 2026-02. This is for the City of Fayetteville Budget Amendment Number 8. As board, you have been presented the ordinance, and it gives you all the adjustments through there from section 1 to section 8. So I need a motion to approve this budget amendment.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Keenan, second.
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Bradford. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Miss Small?
Aye.
That motion carries. This is the end of our meeting, and we will declare it adjourned.
Are you talking about on College Street?